Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Laura Bakewell and here we bake things pretty well. Today I'm going to be making yet another pie. We're doing an apple brown Betty pie, so let's get close and comfy and let's bake together.
Alright guys, so the very first thing that you want to do for your apple brown Betty pie is you want to go ahead and take your apples and you want to peel them, core them, and slice them. So I'm going to peel my apples. And while I am doing this, I did already make my pie crust and it's in the freezer chilling. You don't have to make this into a pie. If you'd rather just make it kind of like more into a cobbler, you can just put it into a like a pie pan without a pie shell, or you can put it into like a small pan. Because traditionally apple brown Betties are actually more like a cobbler, like there's not really a pie shell in it. But I know about the time whenever I was like 20 years old, I worked at a bakery and we sold apple brown Betty pies. So whenever I moved to North Carolina, I was like, we should make apple brown Betty pies, and everybody looked at me sideways. And it's like, have you all not ever heard of apple brown Betty pie? Apparently nobody's heard of it. It's like, okay, well, two completely different thoughts about it. And it's like, yeah, you just take apple brown Betty, basically put it into a pie shell. Kind of like an apple pie, just without like the crust on top. It's more of like a streusel. Alright, so I got all of my apples peeled. Let me just get rid of these apple peels. Alright, now into my bowl, I'm going to use mandolin. If you have, they actually do have like an apple slicer and corer that I'm going to suggest to you all to use. But if you don't have that, you can just use a mandolin. Mine are just on the 3/16. And I'm just going around that core, being very careful not to slice my little fingies. I'm going to do that with all of my apples. There we go, there's all my apples. So now to your apples, you want to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're just going to toss that in there just to help prevent them from browning, but also give them a little bit of flavor. Okay, and we're just going to set these aside. And And we'll get on to our topping. So for our topping, everything is going to go into a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can use your hands with a pastry cutter. And to this, we're going to go ahead and add our all-purpose flour. And we have both our granulated and our brown sugar. You can use light brown or dark brown. Dark brown just helps depthen the flavor. And in here, I have my nutmeg, salt, cloves, and cinnamon. All of this is just going to go in here. We're going to do like a quick little whisk. So you're just going to do a nice little pulse. Just trying to get all that mixed together. And then we're going to start adding our butter. We're just going to cut this up into little chunks. And it is cold butter. All these in smaller chunks, just like that. And we're just going to go ahead and add these chunks into the food processor. And we're going to go ahead and start pulsing this until it all comes together into a crumb. That's about the consistency that you want. You want nice big chunks. And you want your butter to be completely blended in there. So let's get all this out of the way. Alright, so here's my pie dough. And like I said, again, if you don't want to put this into a pie crust, go ahead and just put it into a cobbler pan, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and put my apples right into the bottom of this. And also remember, like, your apples will shrink whenever they bake. So if you have like a nice pile of apples, it's gonna be okay. Also, if you feel like it's too much, you can always save yourself a little snack. Alright, so now with this, we're going to go ahead and put this right on top of our apples. There we go, just like that. And I'm going to put a pan underneath this just in case any of this does drip off. Because it's brown sugar, it will get gooey. So let me go ahead and grab that pan. Okay, so we are going to put this pie in the oven at 350 for about 40-45 minutes. You want to make sure that crust is golden brown. You want to make sure that all the apples are cooked all the way through.
Alright guys, so the pie just came out of the oven. It was baking for about an hour. It got nice and bubbly on the sides. And the crust looks perfectly done. So now we're just going to sit here and let this cool, and then we can cut into it. And there you have it, a nice slice of apple brown Betty pie. You can see those layers of apples. And that crust is nice and flaky all the way through. Perfect. My husband actually already got into this because he was really excited about it. So I'm already missing half a pie. So, thank you for joining me in the kitchen today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!